Somewhere in your home is a box that makes winter bearable, a gas boiler on the kitchen wall, or a furnace down in the basement. Now consider that China has torn the box that does that job out of more than 40 million homes since 2017. Not by accident, by national campaign, and the machine Beijing wants to install next is not a boiler at all. To understand what is coming, start with what winter used to smell like in northern China: scattered coal. Tens of millions of homes each burned their own small pile of it in stoves and little boilers, and whole cities sat under the haze it made. So in 2017, the government launched a clean heating campaign across the north, and work crews moved city by city, village by village, house by house, pulling out coal stoves and wiring in replacements. By late 2025, more than 40 million rural households had been converted, and about 83% of the north heated cleanly, a jump of nearly 20 percentage points in 5 years. Fine particle pollution over Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei fell by roughly 40% in a decade. You could measure the change from orbit, and you could feel it in your lungs. But here is the detail almost everyone outside China misses. The enemy of that campaign was coal, not gas. So, across much of the north, the subsidized replacement was a brand new wall hung gas boiler, and millions of families got their first one with government help. Which means China spent years installing, at public expense, the very machine this story is about replacing. Hold on to that. It shows you how quickly the logic can flip. Because in April of 2025, 6 ministries and agencies in Beijing jointly published something that had never existed before: the country's first national action plan for the heat pump industry. If you have never met a heat pump, it is the box that could make your boiler obsolete. It burns nothing. It runs like a refrigerator in reverse, using a compressor to move warmth from the outside air into your radiators. And in mild weather, it can deliver several units of heat for every unit of electricity it uses. Fire cannot do that. Fire gives you 1 for 1 at best. If you enjoy finding out how the most ordinary machines in your house connect to national strategy, consider subscribing. That is exactly the kind of story this channel exists to tell. Now, what does the action plan actually order? Here's the surprise. Almost nothing. There is no sentence that says, remove the gas boilers. There is no deadline for households anywhere in the text. The plan sets industrial goals instead. By 2030, the energy efficiency of key heat pump products should rise by at least 20%. There should be breakthroughs in very large and very high temperature machines. Heat pumps should spread through buildings, factories, farms, and the thermal systems of electric cars. Coal-fired boilers should give way to heat pumps in public buildings and residential districts. Units older than 10 years should be inspected and inefficient ones phased out. On gas, the document goes quiet. Analysts who studied the original text note that it merely encourages swapping fossil gas water heating for heat pumps where conditions are right, and it never defines the conditions. The provinces get to fill in the blanks. So let us be precise. No Chinese document orders the gas boiler deleted from every home. What exists is stranger, a plan that never mentions your kitchen wall and still points straight at it. Because when Beijing publishes an industrial action plan, the key word is industrial. It is a signal telling one of the largest manufacturing systems on Earth which machine to optimize next. And that system is already staggering. In 2022, roughly 1 in 3 heat pumps sold anywhere in the world came out of a Chinese factory, more than from any other country. More than 300,000 people already work in the sector, and the International Energy Agency expects that workforce to double by mid-century if China's climate pledges hold. And in 2023, China was the only major market on the planet where heat pump sales actually grew, up 12% in a single year. Inside the country, the quiet swap is further along than most outsiders realize. By 2023, Chinese buildings held more than 250 gigawatts of heat pump capacity, about a quarter of everything installed on the planet. And in central and southern China, where most homes never had district heating to begin with, the reversible air conditioner on the bedroom wall is already the normal way to get through January. Tens of millions of families are heating with heat pumps without ever using the phrase. Then there is the money, which is where deletion actually happens. In Zhuanghe, a city up in Liaoning province, more than 1,100 rural households switched to electric heating in 2025. And villagers there reckon the air source heat pumps saved them more than 300 yuan over a winter compared with burning coal. The International Energy Agency has run the wider ledger too. Even after counting the emissions of the power stations behind the socket, a heat pump in China today puts out more than 30% less carbon each year than a gas boiler doing the same job. Cheaper to run, cleaner to breathe. That is the whole pitch, repeated 40 million times. If this journey from a kitchen wall to a national plan is your kind of story, subscribing to Outbuilt takes one click, and it genuinely helps the channel keep digging. Now for the strangest machine in this entire story. In a laboratory of the Chinese Academy of Sciences, researchers have built a heat pump whose engine has no moving parts, no compressor, no motor, just pressurized gas sealed inside a loop and sound. Feed the device intense heat, and the temperature difference sets off powerful acoustic waves inside the gas. Those waves themselves pump warmth uphill from cooler to hotter, with nothing spinning and nothing wearing out. The prototype, published in a peer-reviewed physics journal, pumps heat to above 270 degrees Celsius, the kind of temperature factories use to raise steam, and it is driven not by electricity but by heat itself. It is a laboratory experiment, not a product. But look at what it is aimed at. High-temperature industrial heat is the last fortress where fire still rules, the territory where every boilermaker insists a heat pump can never follow. Someone in Beijing clearly disagrees. Where could all of this lead? The International Energy Agency has sketched one path. If China follows through on its announced climate pledges, heat pump capacity in Chinese buildings grows to 1,400 gigawatts by 2050, covering about a quarter of the country's heating needs. That would mean installing roughly 100 gigawatts every single year. It is a scenario, not a promise. But the machinery needed to attempt it, the factories, the compressor plants, the subsidy playbook, the installer crews that already rewired 40 million homes in under a decade, every piece of that exists today. So no, there is no decree deleting the gas boiler from every Chinese home, and the plan is careful never to claim one. What exists might be more final, a state that has already proven it can walk into 40 million houses and change how they stay warm, now aiming its entire industrial machine at the price tag of the alternative. The boiler on your wall will never be banned. One factory, one subsidy, one winter at a time, it will simply stop being the obvious choice. And that is what quiet deletion looks like.